Hello YouTube, how are we doing? Hope everyone is doing really well. Back out on the bike, back able to record on the bike again. Something a bit different today, I think. I know I say that, I think I've said that in quite a few videos. Today I've got a bit of a rant, so I'm going to apologise in advance, and hopefully people don't turn off and never come back to my channel again, because I've seen some really nice growth on the channel recently, which I'm eternally grateful for. So again, as always, thank you very much for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. The last video we did was the one where I said I want to be better, and I got some really good ideas on that video that I'm going to try and implement in the next week or so to see what I can record and what I can do. So thank you very much for everyone who, you know, gave me a pointer, good, bad, ugly, whatever. It all helps. So thank you very much for that. If you do like what you're seeing, please do keep liking, commenting, subscribing. Hit me up on the socials. It's always good to chat to people. But yeah, today is going to be a rant. And basically, I hadn't planned this at all. But my next video I thought was going to be my 1 year anniversary riding video. You know, I've just hitting 5,000 miles now, and had my bike. And as a result, I've had my bike serviced. So. And that's become a bit of a drama. So for my own benefit, I think I need to speak about that, find out, you know, is it a normal experience that I had, because it wasn't a positive one for me, a positive, memorable experience, as they say in customer service. And yeah, and find out what you guys and girls who watch think about it, because I say I'm not entirely sure it's the experience I should have had, and I want to know that going forward, is it going to be an experience I'm going to have again. I'm hoping not, in all honesty. So yeah, 5,000 miles on my bike, just under a year old now. I've got about another week before my 1 year riding anniversary. Hopefully do a much jollier video for that, talking about my experiences. I didn't take my bike back to the dealer that I bought it from, who are an authorised Yamaha dealer, because my last service, my 2,500 service, was done by a local dealer. You know, who've got a very good history, very good reviews and stuff like that. And they did my 2.5 year service, 2,500 mile service, and everything was great. They were lovely. They complimentary about the bike. They'd never worked on one before, so they were obviously quite interested to have a look at it and whatever. But they assured me they could do the work and stuff like that. Did my service. The price was very, very, very good. And I was really happy with it, and I knew then that I was going to take it back there to have my next service, and I did just that. So I took it in for the 5,000 miles. I couldn't actually take it in because I was working from home at the only slot I could get, because they were very busy at the moment, which is again completely understandable. But they told me, bring it in the morning, we'll get it back to you, and what have you. So my wife took it in. She dropped the bike off at like first thing in the morning, and instead of like usually being like take about an hour, come back in an hour and we can pick the bike up, they explained that they were a little bit busy at the moment, and that they'd have it back sometime today, probably about that day, sorry, about 3-4 o'clock, and to come back then. And that was it, you know. So I was like, okay, I'm working all day. Excuse me, I'm working all day anyway. I don't need the bike while I'm working in my office. You know, I've got some plans later on. As long as I can pick it up and get it later on when I need it, and job's a good one, that's how they say. The problem came when it came to pick the bike up. My wife very kindly set out to pick the bike up for me, as again it had to be picked up before I'd finished my working day. Went to pick the bike up about 4 o'clock. And was advised that unfortunately there'd been a setback and they needed to order some parts, so I couldn't have the bike back. Now, when she rang me to tell me this set off alarms straight away, because I was always under the impression that when you take a bike or a car in for a service, they can't just do random work on it. So in this instance, it turns out that my brakes my brake pads needed replacing. Okay, I wasn't aware that they had Yamaha brakes had like a 5,000 mile lifespan. If that's the case, then okay, understandable. But before my last service, I was warned of potential work that would be needed in regard to, you know, my spark plug would need changing. At my 2,500 mile service, they asked my permission to try change the oil, which I believe is a standard service thing. But they asked my permission to use their own oil if I didn't want to have any with me, because they would charge me for the oil that they use separately. But now suddenly they're taking my brake pads off and charging me to replace them. But then it deepens a little bit, because then what happened is that it turns out that the bike actually wasn't ready for collection then, because when they'd taken my brake pads off, they'd ordered new brake pads under the proviso that I would, well, under the assumption that I would be okay with this, without even asking me. Those new brake pads had turned up and were the wrong ones. So now they had to reorder them, and the replacements weren't coming until the next day. So I couldn't have my bike back until the next day at the earliest. Sometime the next day when they could squeeze it in and get the new brake pads and replace the current ones. Now this was annoying for other reasons, because obviously I have a freewheel bike, which means when the brake pads need replacing, there are 3 sets of brake pads that need replacing. My God, that park is quite busy. So yeah, there are 3 sets of brake pads that need replacing, not just 2, and it's not just even the one. They replaced all of them. But at no point did they ask if this was okay. No attempt to contact me was made. They've just ordered the parts and said that they decided the brake pads needed changing, so they changed the brake pads. Can they do that? You know, I remember, you know, the old days of you take your car into the garage for an MOT, and then there was the old I can't remember, stereotype is, oh, I can't let you drive out of here like that, you know, and it was quite a negative thing for mechanics, where you know, it looked like they were conning people into having work done that they didn't need doing, and by telling them they're like, oh, I had to do it, it'd be illegal for you to drive out of here for that. Now I'm pretty sure that's not a thing that happens at most garages anymore, and I'm pretty sure it's not a thing that they can do, you know. So I'm a little bit miffed is probably the best way to put it, that work was carried out on my bike, whether or not the work was required or not. Work was carried out on my bike without, at a cost to me, a significant cost to me, without any attempt being made to contact me and check if this was okay. I'd signed nothing to say that when they take the bike into their custody, that if any work is required, they can do it or anything like that. So maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, is that a thing that they can do? You know, am I to expect this going forward when I take my bike in to be serviced? Really? So yeah, I'm really interested to know what your guys and girls experiences have been getting you know, services done and the like. Is this something that I basically have to look forward to? I can go here. Going forward, you know, am I going to have to go into my service potentially coming out with hundreds of pounds added to my bill because somebody suddenly believes that my engine needs replacing or whatever, you know? Or is there a limit? Is it if there's a significant amount of work that needs to be done, or something like that? I think I really need to understand before walking into this situation again, because I say it really annoyed me, probably far angrier than I should have been about it, and I still don't think it's right that they can just be like, oh yeah, excuse me, oh yeah, you know, your brakes are needed fixing, so we fixed them. Yeah, that'll be over £100, please. And oh yeah, we cocked up in regard to ordering your brake pads and stuff. And yeah, so I'd really like to know what you guys and girls watching think. You know, is this something that they can do? You know, when you take your bike in for a service, if something needs doing, do they just do it? You know, obviously, if they'd have rang me and said, "Hi there, sir, we've got your bike here. Unfortunately, it turns out your brake pads are a little more worn than we would like. and we wouldn't recommend that you take the bike out and they're going to need replacing. These are the options. We can replace them for you. You can come and collect the bike, take it away in a trailer, perhaps, if they insist that you can't ride it. Or we can do it. What would have happened if they'd have, if I'd have turned up and I've got my money for my service, I know roughly how much my service is going to cost, and then they suddenly, now they've added on these extra like £100 odd or so for parts that I didn't ask for. What happens if I didn't have that money? Do I suddenly then lose my bike? We're in an economic situation at the moment where people are being made redundant. There's not much money to be going around. People are furloughed, and, not being paid their full amount of wage and stuff like that. What happens if I financially didn't have the money to get my bike back? I might not have had it for a while. I was too angry to even go and fetch my bike the next day. My wife kindly went and fetched it for me the next day. I was so angry about this. It probably wouldn't have been best if I'd have gone up there, and I feel like I've got quite a decent relationship with the people at the garage, and I probably didn't want to ruin that, although I am seriously considering never using their services again after this, depending on what the outcome of this video is, because I'm still not convinced that's something they can do. But I'm going to start ranting and raving and stuff. I think I've been a little bit more calm about it, talking about it to you all than I have been inside and stuff like that. So yeah, this video, I say again, it's just a random waffle, but yeah, it helps me because I get it out my system, I suppose, in a way that's not just shouting at my wife. But yeah, it also helps me to find out, is this normal? Is this something I can come to expect? Next time I go in for a service, wherever it is this going to happen? Has this happened to you? What did you do about it? So yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Comments definitely appreciated on this video. They were very appreciated on all my other videos, and obviously I like to respond and interact with people. So hit me up on the socials, let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you in the next one.